Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Rizzano, and welcome back to episode 103 of the Affiliate Party Podcast. We're coming to you live from the great city of Atlanta, Georgia. Man, I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, it is hard to be a fan of any Atlanta team these days. The Braves, they blew the chance to go to the World Series. Earlier, at the time of this podcast, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. But earlier, I watched the Falcons. They wasn't trying to score. Then they scored a touchdown, and then they lost the game to the Lions. And well, of course, the Hawks, they are a complete disaster. But it's whew. I mean, I thought to myself, I said, I'm home watching this nonsense. But anyway, how did you enjoy the bonus episode the other night? I just wanted to, I felt the urge to get on here and talk about, creating things, creating your own opportunities. And I hope you enjoyed it. I know it went on a little longer than what I thought, but it was some good material in there. So anyway, today we are going to talk about headlines, and we are going to talk about making sure your business is in order. Now, having a bad headline and good content is like having a great middle. You know how you have a sandwich, you have a nice bread, top and bottom, and then you have nice, whatever you want to eat in the middle, nice meat, whatever. Having a bad headline is like having two, how you have the two ends of the bread that nobody wants to eat. It's like having those as the part of the sandwich, and people would look at that and be like, "Ends of the bread? I don't want to eat that." Ugh. And then the sandwich would just go to waste. So you don't want to do that. You want to have the nice brioche bread with the sandwich. Nice, you want to have a nice headline, good content. The more people will read your stuff, the more money you will make, and the more you will be able to get out of whatever you want to get out of faster. I myself, headlines, okay. I make headlines, they're okay. Got to make them better. One of my goals in November. Headlines going to be on point. Got to make them. You want your headlines to be interesting. You want people to be curious, and you want people to go in there and dive in there and read them. Sometimes you can make up for because every article you write, everything you produce is not going to be, A++. You try, but sometimes things just don't work out. But if the headline's strong, it can make up for that article being okay, So definitely think about that. Definitely, and you can get inspiration from all kinds of places, from, yourself. You can always go to read the People magazine, the Star magazine, those kind of magazines. They have interesting headlines. There's different ways you can go, but you just want to make sure your headline's interesting. And also, if you're doing like a YouTube video and you use the headline, make sure that whatever title you have, make sure you say the title like in the beginning of the YouTube video and then in the middle, because, the SEO. But just always be conscious of your headline. You write a great article and then you come up with a sort of just an okay title. It's like don't waste a great article on a so-so headline. You want the headline to be crisp. You want the headline to be good. You want people to think. You want people to be curious. You want the headline to move the needle for you. You want the headline to bring people into the article or bring them into the podcast, or you just want the headline is like the guy at the circus, the ringleader. How he's yelling at you to come to the circus, and he says things and you're like, oh, I'll go check that out. So your headline is like the ringleader. So you want the ringleader to say, step right, step forward, come on in, everybody. So you want the headline to bring people in, and then of course the content, the article will, keep people to stay, and then more people will read you, more people will want to hear from you. So that's how that works with the headline. Now, when it comes to your business, you want everything to be tight. You want everything to be real well run. You want everything to be organized. You want to get to the point when you really start cranking this business out, when you really start going forward, when you really start going strong. You want everything to be well organized. You don't want to be, you don't want a bunch of loose ends when you're trying to conduct a business, because at the end of the day, this is a business. This is your business, and you want things to be on the up and up. You want all your paperwork. You want everything to be right. You want everything to be clear. You want everything to be concise. Everything. I'm talking about from the emails you send out. You want to make sure that, you don't want to make a mistake, and, you don't want to say, hey, I'm going to send this email at 12:15 p.m. and then it's for 12:15 a.m. the next day, and then you sit there and go, nobody got my email, and little things like that. Every little attention to detail will help you more when it comes to growing your business, and trust me, it's important. Everything is important, not everything's not going to be like, of course, like content is the most important thing when it comes to, like, if you say, hey, I'll write books. So of course you want to start, if you're not writing, then you really don't write books. But you want to make sure when you're writing the books, you want to make sure that you proofread, you make sure that you edit the thing, you make sure that you want to check the title, you want to check the cover, you want to check everything before you put this stuff out. You want to make sure that everything is in order. You want to make everything is to your liking. You want to make sure everything is crisp. You want to make sure everything is concise. You just want to make sure that your business is a well-oiled machine, and that you don't want a lot of nonsense going on. You don't want to have to backtrack, and you don't want to have to do this. You don't want to have to do that, because you want the business to be smooth. You want it to be a machine. You want it to be. It's like when I worked with when I first got out the military, I worked with my brother, and we worked. Matter of fact, we had this discussion the other day. We worked at a place, and it was a shit show. Like, the place wasn't organized. The people really didn't train you. My brother said he got trained by accident, and me myself, I really didn't get any training. So whenever I was by myself working on the machine, it never got any production. I was basically putting it was these beans, and they had a machine, and of course, the beans would come and they would go into a bag, and then they had the machine the way it would seal up the bag. It would cut it a certain way. It's supposed to be like that every time. A lot of times it was different sizes of the bag. The bags would be cut one way, cut the different way. So it was never like clear. It was never concise. It was always a struggle, and we really wasn't producing like what we should. You know what I mean? So that's why I say you want to be on the up and up. You want to be organized. You want to be well. You want that machine to be well run. You don't want that machine to be like that bean. That bean machine was terrible. Because at the end of the night, the guy said you should be producing 2,000 bags of beans, and we would wind up producing like 300, 200, 300, 400, and it's like, we're not meeting our goal. I'm like, I know we're not meeting the goal, but the machine never works. Nobody really trained me on the machine. What am I, But you don't want to be that. You don't want to be the bean machine. Don't be the bean machine. Make sure your machine is concise. Make sure it's productive. Make sure that it's just like every day. I make sure I have the podcast. I have uploading the podcast down to it's not an exact science, but I got it down to where it come out every morning. Now we got to get I'm just gonna use myself for this. I got to get the videos. Boom. The consistent phone calls. Boom. I go every other day. Sometimes we're calling. No, every day needs to be phone calls. Every day. We got to get this machine rocking and rolling. So that's why I say you want your machine to be well oiled. You want your machine to be producing as much as possible. You want to get everything you can out of this business. All right. So that's it for today. I know this is quick. It's been 10 minutes, but I just wanted to tell you all that. And before I go, everybody I'm going to vote. Let's all hope that it doesn't take 3 hours. Let's just hope it takes a few minutes. But anyway, well, the voting poll doesn't open for another 2 or 3 hours, but I'm gonna try to get there kind of early, 6:30, 6:45, something like that. But anyway, that's it for the podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. Remember, study up on the headlines. There's plenty of different headlines you can use. Check out movie titles. Some movie titles catch your eye, some don't. Think about when it comes to headlines. When it comes to headlines, think about your market. Think about things that will catch your eye. Think about your customer. Always have a customer in your mind. Think about what would catch their eye and take it from there. And with the well-oiled machine, it's just everything from A to Z. Make sure you got everything A to Z. Of course, everything's not going to be perfect in the beginning, but once you start, it's like working on a piece of wood. Once you sand it down, carve it out, get everything going, you build it how you want to build it, okay? So that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. My name is Tony Rizzano. This episode 103 is in the books. And we will talk to you tomorrow. All right? And as always, everybody, peace.